Okay, and you'll see as I'm killing, you should see my score updating. Yeah, at the top there. Can you see it? Hey guys, welcome back to my world. Today I have a segmented digital display for you that will take your scoreboard totals or scoreboard objective scores and then translate it into this digital format. Now it uses glowstone lamps, so I'm just in a texture pack that looks a little bit different. It uses glowstone lamps to do the display for you. Right, now as you can see, this is completely and utterly wireless, right? Meaning that I don't need, there's nothing is connected between me and that display. So I'm just quickly going to reset the display to 0, just so that I can actually start explaining the whole thing to you guys. Okay, so basically how it works, if I have a scoreboard and I add 3 to my score, you'll see that the scoreboard will then update. Now you won't normally use it in this manner, so you won't normally add a lot of or a large number to it. You're looking to maybe use this in real time, like kill score. So as you are killing, it adds it automatically. So you'll see there's a little bit of a delay as it's trying to process the score, but it still works fine. So for example, if I add 10 to this, if I add 10 to my score, okay, you will see that it will now update and it will roll until it gets to 13. Okay, and if I add maybe another 10, you'll see it'll just scroll through the numbers and it'll just update it and translate it into, here we go, 23, into your display. Now, as I said, this is completely wireless, so you'll see I have another scoreboard here. They are mirrored at the moment because I have a little variable running in the command blocks that says if this is display number 1, so my display is set to 1, but I can very easily change that one to display number 2, so that I can have 2 players with 2 unique scores being updated in real time. I'll show you the applications of that a little bit later. Right, so how this really works is that I have a module which is 1 number. So you'll see this is one module. Then I've tiled it 3 times to create a score displayable score of 9,999. So this is my ones, so it displays my score if it's 1. This is the tens, this is the hundreds, and this is the thousands. So this will display any number smaller than 10. This will display any number smaller than 100. This will display anything smaller than 1,000, and this one will display anything smaller than 10,000. Okay, so 9,999. Now, I'm not going to build or do a tutorial on this because this can get quite messy and quite advanced. But what I'm going to do, this world is up for download, so check in the download or the description below for the download link for this. I'll also probably put this on Planet Minecraft, I think, for download. Right, so how this works is basically when I have a score, I then translate that score into ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. So there is 4 scoreboard objectives that is only works up to 9, or from 0 to 9. So when the ones reaches 9, it then adds 1 to the tens, okay, and resets ones to 0. And then it'll just count up again until this reaches 9 again, and then adds 1 to the tens. When tens reaches 9, it'll then add 1 to the hundreds, reset the tens to 0, and then when the ones gets to 9, it'll then add 1 to the tens. When 10 gets to 9, it adds 1 to the hundreds. When hundreds gets to 9, it adds 1 to the thousands. Okay, does that make sense? So I've just kind of broken it up, and now this over here does that for me. So the first thing I do, I am actually running a test4 command. Now the reason I'm running a test4 command, I know I do not have to, but what I want to do is I actually want to turn off this clock over here. I want to keep the clock off until someone has a score of 1. So if I just add 1 to my score, so I just add 1, you'll see that it'll turn on this clock, and the clock will cycle through once. before it turns off again. Okay, so, and that is why I'm running this, because I want to control this clock and be able to turn it on and off. I don't want this to run the whole time because it can cause issues. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I'm running a test for command. When anybody has a score of 1, it'll then turn off this torch, which will then start this clock running. So the first thing that will happen, first thing that will happen when this command block loses power is that this torch will turn on, and it will then activate this command block. And this command block just says, so scoreboard players, add player score. So anybody who has a score of at least 1, okay, and has a score of 1s, minimum 0, and maximum 9, add 1 to that total. Okay, so this will add 1 to the total until it reaches 10, because when it reaches 10, it no longer falls within that parameters. Okay, so you'll see that if, for example, if I now add 7, no, 6, sorry, my maths are terrible, you'll see that it'll keep on cycling through until it reaches 30, and then it'll stop. Okay, so then the next command blocks that will activate is first this one, then the next one directly after it. Okay, so what this one does, it says that when, obviously still, while the score is a minimum 1, right, and the 1s is at least 10. Right, so because this command block will stop working when the last one is added and the score becomes 10, this one will only start when the score is at least 10, and it will then add 1 to the objective called 10s. So it'll add 1 to 10. Okay, so it will then add, display the second bar. Then the next one then resets the 1s to 0. So it'll reset the 1s to 0, which in effect then stops this command block because it's looking for at least 10, right? Then next, it will then activate this command block over here, okay, which is your hundreds, okay? So it does the same thing. When the 10s reaches 10, okay, it will then set the hundreds to 1, and then when it's able to set the hundreds to 1, it will then actually set the 10s to 0. So it just resets the 10s again. Now let me just add 100 to my score. Now this will scroll through, so it'll take 100 ticks or whatever to actually update. So you'll see this will now update, and it'll take its time. So you'll see this thing will just keep on crunching the numbers. Okay, so it'll then do that. So then you'll also see the next thing it also does, it actually powers this command block over here, which is the thousands. So if hundreds reaches 10, it'll then add 1 to the thousands. Okay, and then this one here, and I know you guys can probably know what's going to happen. It's going to set the hundreds to 0. Voila. Okay, and then sets the hundreds to 0. And then once this clock is completely cycled through, there's a 2-tick delay here, which will then remove 1 from my score. Okay, so that is why it's ticking off 1 at a time, because I'm removing 1 from my score, and it just keeps on running through until I have a score of 0, which will then stop this command block here, which will then turn on this torch, which will then stop the clock. So this really just translates the score into the larger digital numbers, breaks it up into the various pieces. Okay, does that make sense? So, right, so that's the first part. The second part, the numbers are broken up into 7 segments. So it's segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment 4, segment 5, segment 6, segment 7. So it's 7 segments that makes up one number. But by the way, you'll see I'm now at 130. Okay, so all this is behind here is I've just set up tests for commands, the tests for the numbers. So I've on a piece of paper, I just drew out that the number 0 contains the stripe over there, the number 5, the number 2, the number 8, the number 7. So and then I just test for those numbers. So you'll see over here, I'm doing a test for that just says if my display, so if my display is set to 1, right? So this means you can have multiple displays. You can have 10, 20, 30, 40 displays. It doesn't matter. But if this particular display is 1, so if my display is set to 1, and the scores of 1 is between 2 and 3, turn on this lamp, these lamps over here. And the same goes for the ones up here. If my score is between 5 and 9, turn that on. And if my score is 0, turn this segment on. So then I've literally just broken up all of these segments, and I'm running test fors that tests if this segment should be lit for the number that should be displayed. Okay, this is I do realize this is quite a complicated tutorial, but yeah, just download it and test it out yourself. And go on, download it, check it, download it. Okay, so but how do you actually use it? So at the moment you'll see that I'm doing scores. I'm adding scores manually, but you can actually add the scores by just adding a little small translation. So I'm just going to add a quick translator that's going to translate kills into scores, which will then be displayed over there. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to use this clock over here. So let me just say, scoreboard. I'm just going to quickly check what my if I already have an objective for this. So yes, so I have a display. So I have a objective here called kills. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to actually set score to 1 if I have 1 kill. Okay, so I'm going to go scoreboard players add at player at all all who has a score underscore kills. Is it kill or kills? Kill underscore minimum equals 1. Let me just really see if that was kills or kill. Kills with an S. Okay, so kills 1, and then I'm going to add score 1. Okay, so when I have at least 1 kill, okay, I will then get 1 added to my score. Right, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm then going to actually remove that kill. Okay, so I'm then going to go scoreboard players remove at all score score underscore kills underscore minimum equals 1, and I'm going to remove kills 1. Okay, so it'll now, when I have kills, I just want to make sure I've got something else running here. Let me just turn this off. Just on kills. Okay, right, so basically what will happen now is when I add 1 to my kills, so let me just reset this whole thing. Okay, so let me reset this whole thing. So if I reset this, okay, if I now add 1 to my kills, so score, let's just go kills, and I just add 1 to my kills. Oopsie. Okay, it should now translate and then give me 1. There we go. So if I add 3, okay, it should now give me 4. And there we go. How absolutely awesome is that? Okay, I didn't think that was going to work, to be honest. Okay, so how does this work? So let me just quickly reset. Let me quickly reset. Okay, so I'm going to reset by hitting this button, and it just resets the display. But all it does, it just sets everything to 0. 1s, 10s, scores, and everything. Download the map, go check it out. Okay, so I'm just going to change the time. But I've got actually something else running here I should turn off first. Where is it? So let's turn this off first. Okay. Time set night. So let's just do night. Let's get us a few zombies. Okay. So what will happen is when I now do a kills, okay, like so, I'm going to stand over here. Okay. Let's just equip myself a bit, because this is where I always die. This is where I die. This is where I'm going to do things that is going to make me... Okay, so let me just get boots. Let's just gear up. Come on, gear up. Okay, and I'm going to... Okay. Oops, should have done that. Okay. Right, so let us see. I've now got my game mode 0. Okay, and here we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, okay, okay. I don't know why I always do this, but I just end up killing myself quite badly. Yay! Okay, and you'll see as I'm killing, you should see my score updating. Yeah, at the top there. Can you see it? Ah! As I said, there's a slight delay because of all the timings and things. But as you can see, I've killed 6 zombies already. So let's just go. Yeah, have at you. This is Sparta. Okay, zombie. No, villager. Okay. Let's see. So this is actually, if you have multiple players, all you need to do is set the display for the second player to 2, and then just change the values. And there we go. Ta-da! I had 11 kills. Cool, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit more technical as usual, but as I said, map is available for download below. What I just want to show you guys, if you do want to install it, all you need to do is hit this button over here, which says reset. Okay, so reset the display. So that'll just reset your display to 0. If you are installing this, so when you first get to this map, hit that button, because that'll also set up all of your players' display ones and so forth. And if you want to know how set up all of the objectives, here's a row that just set up all of the objectives. Cool, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will check